Welcome to the Canadian Hydrogen Convention's Hydrogen Plus series. I'm Rachel Gregory, and joining us today is Mark Plamondon. Mark, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Rachel. It's a pleasure to be here.
Mark, tell us about Alberta's Industrial Heartland. What makes it special?
So Alberta's Industrial Heartland, it is a 582 square kilometer region that's been mostly pre-zoned heavy industrial. In essence, it is currently the largest hydrocarbon processing region in Canada. You know, the first and foremost reason why companies would look at building a project or investing in the region is the access to some of the lowest cost feedstocks in North America and the world. Right now, we're very fortunate to have tremendous infrastructure and infrastructure that not only can access Pacific, Atlantic, and Gulf Coast with respect to rail, but we have infrastructure with respect to carbon capture, utilization, and storage. And that capability to store CO2 really positions this region to lead the industrial decarbonization efforts and to position us to be the lowest cost producer of hydrogen in the world.
How is Alberta's Industrial Heartland driving investment into the province?
Industrial Heartland, which is the geographical region, and then there's Alberta's Industrial Heartland Association, which is, we're funded by the 5 municipalities, and what we do is we spend a significant amount of the time marketing the opportunity here, working with companies, traveling the world and talking with companies when they're looking at their next capital investment globally. You know, we want them to understand our jurisdiction, how it stacks up against other jurisdictions, so they can make a decision, you know, as quickly as possible to help them figure out if it makes sense to invest here.
How does Alberta's current industrial infrastructure compare to other jurisdictions? What are the future goals?
We have such proximity to world-class resources, energy resources, that we have opportunity to value add and add tremendous value to Alberta, to Canada as a whole. And then you take that proximity to these resources and you couple that with the infrastructure that's here. And I'm talking primarily now about the carbon capture, utilization, storage infrastructure. There's infrastructure here already that's built. There are opportunities for new infrastructure. Alberta's Industrial Heartland will be Canada's first carbon hub location when the government of Alberta awards hub operator status. So that sort of puts us in this position where we have this world-leading infrastructure on CCUS, and we're positioned for even more CCUS capability. That just really puts us ahead of the pack.
So how is Alberta's Industrial Heartland staying competitive in hydrogen? And can you tell us about some future projects?
Very exciting space. There's lots of interest in it. The underlying drivers that would drive economics of a hydrogen production facility, those are here. It is some of the lowest cost feedstocks in the world. You're making hydrogen from methane. That's a key driver here. Access to carbon capture, utilization, storage infrastructure, that's here. Skilled workforce is here. Of course, access to rail infrastructure and then to ports to get products to market. All of that has proximity to the industrial heartland. And so that all positions this region in a very competitive framework. You've had public announcements already. Mitsubishi has announced publicly that they're looking at a project that would take ammonia, in essence, a hydrogen carrier being ammonia, through to markets in Japan, and that'd be partnered with Shell and the carbon capture capability that Shell has. Itochu with Petronas have announced that they're partnering with a Canadian firm to also look at low carbon ammonia for accessing the hydrogen economy in international market. Of course, Air Products have announced near the city of Edmonton their low carbon hydrogen project. And so you're having companies coming out and publicly stating that they're looking at this jurisdiction to meet global demand for low carbon hydrogen. And so we're really excited about the future, and we think the Industrial Heartland is a good place for production assets.
What is Alberta's Industrial Heartland doing in regards to sustainability? And how do you see this changing in the next 10 years?
When we look at what we do and how we can sort of drive either decarbonization or improve sustainability for industrial development, we start marketing and target companies that are working in areas of renewable fuels, in GHG mitigation or energy efficiency initiatives, or even companies that are looking in the battery supply chain. If we can work with companies to help them figure out if their investment in the battery supply chain makes sense, then this region really helps the overall supply chains decarbonize their overall products. We are working with companies and marketing this region as a region that companies can come here, meet their ESG objectives, as well as meet their economic objectives.
Within the next decade, how do you see Alberta's Industrial Heartland changing to help Canada meet climate targets?
I think we're going to see more investments in decarbonization initiatives, more investments in carbon capture, utilization, and storage, and then spin-offs from that, more investments in hydrogen that helps other companies decarbonize. I think we'll see more renewable fuels. Hopefully we'll see some more battery value chain type of investments. I can see this region over the next decade really becoming a leader in industrial decarbonization and a leader as a region that produces products that can help other segments of industrial sectors and other segments of the economy meet their greenhouse gas reduction emissions targets.
And our H+ question, Mark, what is your favorite way to spend a day off?
One of my hobbies is I play music with some friends. And so being able to play some music in front of a group of people is always a lot of fun, and that's always turns out to be a really good time. So that's a good hobby. That's a good way to spend a day off. I appreciate you asking.
Thank you for sharing. I love that. It's great to hear all the remarkable work that is being done here in our province. So thank you, Mark.
Rachel, you're welcome. Thank you for this time here today. I enjoyed talking with you.